Introducing the all-new BYD Sea Lion 7, the luxury electric SUV that's changing the game. Book your free test drive today at the BYD showroom in Sheffield.
Dr. Steelhammer, Vladimir Klitschko, and Dr. Iron Fist, Vitaly Klitschko, Shannon the Cannon Brigg, and Butterbean, Cruiserweight King Jai Opetaia.
Main event. Firstly, Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, you told the DAZN broadcast this week that you are at peace. There is no chip on your shoulder. Despite all of this and everything that is seemingly at stake on Saturday night, what is helping you to have that feeling of tranquility right now?
I know what's coming. I prepared my whole life for these moments. I've put the time in. I've dedicated decades to the sport, and I've done it all without cheating, without cutting any corners, and I'm proud of that. The mentality I have, the experience I have, the fortitude and the will is what I will be using on the night to take out my adversary in Conor Benn.
Conor, you've been on big stages under the spotlight since you turned professional. For both of you, big shoes to fill. But on Saturday night, when you ring walk in front of over 65,000 fans and everything that's on the line, how have you remained in control of your emotions on a week like this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what I do. I love this game. This is what I live for. You know, this is every fighter's dream when they turn professional to live this life. You know, there was no more pressure than a 19-year-old kid with no military experience walking out to a packed O2 arena. That's pressure. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years and you know, I'm more than prepared, more than ready. You know, I wish it was Saturday night tonight.
Chris, you've said the procedure will be parliamentary. You know what that means, but for those of us who don't know, can you paint that in a picture for us? What does that look like on Saturday night?
Yeah, Conor speaks about pressure and dealing with it, but you know, there's a reason why he had his training camp in Spain. You know, the kid had to flee his own country to prepare for this fight. He knew that he couldn't handle the pressure of, you know, walking these UK streets and having people shouting out drug cheat and egg jokes. He didn't want to be involved in any of that. So he took himself away, he hid away, and you know, now he's back, and now he thinks he could use me to kind of get back into the good graces. You know, I haven't fled, I haven't hid away from anything. I've been in these streets. I've been to gyms all over London over the last 2 months. I've been and spoke to kids. I've done all the media obligations I've needed to do around the country. I've felt the energy on the streets of the UK over these last 2 months, and it's real. You know, people are invested in this. You know, everywhere I go, people are screaming, and most of the time it's positive, which is it's a new thing for me. I'm still getting used to that, but you know, I am happy with the place I am at mentally. I don't think Conor can say the same thing. I think he's feeling the pressure and the heat. I think he's feeling that, and he's going to feel a hell of a lot more in a couple of days' time.
If the procedure is to be parliamentary, Conor, what's on your manifesto of what happens? And in response to Chris, are you feeling the pressure?
No pressure. You know, I live for this. I've had the fire over 100 times in my head. You know, for me, it's just focusing on the training. You know, removing myself from my comfort zones, my familiarities, my family, and, you know, fully dialing in. You know, I'm not going to allow myself to Chris and go back and forth, and, you know, all that PR is done. I'm excited to get in there and put my hands on him Saturday night. Available of all the rubbish he wants to talk and you know, names, and, you know, we're not at school. And come Saturday night, I get to put my hands on him.
You will be at school on Saturday, my friend. I'm taking you back to school.
Well done, you.
At school, I'm going to be the headmaster, my friend.
Yeah.
You will be in detention.
You are funny, Chris. You made me laugh. Just focus on getting away off, fat boy.
weight. It's weight. Weight is, everyone always talking about this weight thing. Yeah, the weight is painful.
Yeah, good.
I'm in pain right now. I'll be in even more pain tonight and tomorrow morning.
And the worst pain you've ever experienced come Saturday night, I promise you that right now.
The question I ask myself is, what is pain?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I'm serious. What is it?
Oh, shut up. You're going off. Oh, God.
I have a 31-year-old brother. He is buried in the desert in Dubai. That's pain. I have his son, Raheem, 3 years old. He asks, why can't I see my daddy? Why doesn't he take me to school? That's pain. My own father, a man I idolized for my entire life, and he doesn't speak to me. We haven't spoken for years, and he thinks I'm a disgrace. These things are what pain is to me. And if I can deal with all of these trials and tribulations, then the weight cut and the rehydration clause, these are all things that are not an issue. They are not important.
Okay. Chris, in the build-up to the original date, you said 60% is what you'll be and 60% will be enough. What percent will you be on Saturday and what percent will be enough to beat Conor Benn?
We're not doing the percentages anymore. That was for the first time around before Conor got caught cheating. Now it's about preparing to get this kid out boxing. We're not taking him lightly anymore. He should have taken the chance he had in that first fight. When I was underestimating, when I was, playing, when I was taking him lightly, that was his best shot. Now it's gone, because now I have a duty to boxing, to the public, to the fans who he's lied to, who Eddie Hearn's lied to for the last 2-3 years. I have a duty to erase these guys from the picture.
Conor, the Ring magazine reported in the last couple of hours that you have requested for Billy Joe Saunders to inspect the raps of Chris Eubank Jr.
Don't ruin all the surprises, Jamie.
Well, the Ring magazine reported it before. Right?
Maybe not.
What do you make of that, Chris?
It's irrelevant. Hand wraps is not going to save Conor Benn from the ass kicking he's about to receive.
Ooh, scary. Ooh.
Conor, hearing you speak this week, you say what gets you out of bed on those early morning runs is the fear of losing to another man. What about the fear of losing to this man, Chris Eubank?
Yeah, listen, it's always personal. I'm a very emotional fighter. I fight with my heart on my sleeve, and it's the way I've been my whole career. It's the only way I know. So for me, he is another man. Yes, his name is Eubank, and I won't be losing to a fighter whose name's Eubank, especially not this man.
He says he has no game plan, Chris, just a hop, skip, and a right hand, and that will be all she wrote. Do you believe him?
No, I don't. But that's the beautiful thing about this sport. It doesn't matter what you believe. All that matters is what actually happens once that bell goes, and nobody knows what's going to happen until it happens. What I do know is whatever strategy, whatever game plan these people have come up with, nothing will prepare them for the fire that they're going to receive in a couple of days' time.
Final one to you, Chris. You did say it's impossible that this fight goes 12 rounds. As a final message, how do you beat Conor Benn on Saturday night in the dream scenario?
How do I beat Conor Benn? Any way I want to. It's not about strength and speed and age and weight, the things that you guys love to talk about. It's about dedication. It's about paying, who's paid their dues and who's done it clean, who's dedicated their life, who's real and who's fake. And I believe all of those categories are in my favor.
And Conor, final one to yourself. You've told us no game plan. You don't need a game plan. When the opening bell rings here at Tottenham Hotspur, what happens?
Yeah, I'm coming in to take his head off.
And just finally, Chris, Eubank's supremacy. That's what you've kept talking about in the build-up to this fight. You can cement that on Saturday. Is that part of what comes with all of this occasion for you as well, personally?
Legacy indeed. I'm confident. You know, I still want that £1 million bet that Eddie Hearn said he wanted to do. Eddie, what's up, man? We gonna put the mill on or what?
Not allowed to talk now.
Well, I asked you a question, so of course, get on the stage and answer.
Yeah, I'll talk. Firstly, I want to say how proud I am of Conor.
No. When I say talk, I mean answer the question.
No, you're all right. Have a day off, mate.
Are you going to fulfill the bet, or are you going to run away like the weasel that you are? I tell you what. So his excuse at the moment is he's going to get fined 100,000 by the board if he bets, and that's why he can't bet me this £1 million that he said publicly that he wanted to do. So how about I make it easier for you, and I'll put $1 million up, and you put 900,000 up. So I've covered the 100K fine that you're going to get that you can't afford to pay, and let's get it on that way. Let's put the money in escrow tonight. And winner takes all on Saturday. How about that?
Go on, Eddie, do it.
As I said to your promoter over there, we will have a conversation with Mr. Smith. If I won't face any penalties on my licence, we can consider it. In the meantime, get back to the hotel, take that weight off, and get prepared to get an absolute spanking on Saturday night at Tottenham Hotspur.
Always a way to weasel your way out of what you're supposed to be doing, which is honouring your word.
Stop eating the chicken.
If anyone, Frank Smith, maybe you can.
What?
The bet?
I haven't got £1 million, mate. Do you think I'd be up here doing this? I'd be on a beach somewhere if I had that much money.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the final press conference. Nearly time. The sound of that.